G'day everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Dee. So what I would like to show you today is our snake beans and our runner beans. Every year my parents, they do a bit of interplanting between the custard apple trees. It's just very convenient because the custard apple trees, as you can see on this side here, we have a lot of protection because we built the shade house for the purpose of protecting them from the extreme climate. Now, if you're international and you've never watched my channel before and this happened to be your first video, I'm in Perth, Western Australia. This is a Mediterranean climate, or in other words, it's warm temperate. What that means is we have really hot and dry summer and wet and cold winters. So between like spring to autumn, this is our growing season, and after that is a bit cold, so you have to think about growing other plants. Okay, now unfortunately for me, I love growing tropical and subtropical fruit trees, and it's not it's not a very good combination because you tend to put a lot of effort in growing these trees, hence you see the shade house. So how we maximize it is by interplanting. So what my parent has done on this side, as you can see here, this is the snake beans. It's grown between the custard apple tree. You can see that one custard apple tree over there, and then there's another one over there. So these are the pine pole that support the structure of the shade house. And up there we just have the shade cloth. And down here, what my parent has done is they run steel wire from one pole to the other, and they made it up like almost like a trellis with some plastic string. Now I don't recommend this because this material, like, it breaks off and it becomes microplastic. It's such an issue. But I can't discourage my parent from using it. They're Vietnamese. They're growing up with plastic. And if you've ever been to Vietnam, plastic is such a big problem over there. It's convenient to use, but at the same time, there's a lot of waste. Now, if you're thinking about soil and you're from the United States, what the soil here is like, I can compare it to Californian soil, which is like sandy. Not a lot of organic matter. And so, as you can see here, what my parent has done is they came along, dug like a hole, put some compost, soil mixture. Sorry, I'm losing my breath. Oh my goodness. Put some soil in there and the seed that they saved the previous year, and then just cover it up and water it. And if you look at here, this snake bean is way too old, so it's going to become seed that we save for the following year. And it's really best practice to do that, otherwise you end up buying seed continually. You just need to save your seed, and you know, it all adds up, so you should save your seed. But look at how amazing they are. I would definitely recommend growing beans, snake bean in particular. It just looks so epic. Look at that. Right. And if I come along, the other thing about this, once I show you the runner beans, you see why snake beans are actually easy to harvest. You can, well, they are easier. They don't hide so much because they'll just poke out like that. They'll stick out and then you see them, and it's easier for you to pick them. So some of these are, you know, my parent might pick these today or the end of today, and these one here, because this is a rural property. We don't come up here often, so if we don't pick them by the end of the day, by Saturday, which when my parents come back here, or Sunday, it will be like this. We'll be saving a lot of seed. And I have been eating a lot of beans, snake beans and runner beans. So this is more than sufficient for our family to grow and eat. Like, we've practically given it away. Like, it's not enough to sell, but it's not enough, like, it's more than enough for like a family of 10 people, basically. That's what I should say. So what you're seeing is just like one side, and then you see the other side as well. And when they're really healthy, you know, it will be like my arm's length. Honestly. You know, we give it liquid seaweed fertilizers every maybe couple weeks, but that's about it. And if you see, like, we're not even growing on really good soil either. So it's doing really well. It's very productive. And we don't have many pests, you know, with this plant. So that's why my parents love to grow it. Preference wise, I think it's only me and my dad and maybe my sibling like to eat snake bean. My mom, on the other hand, she is indifferent to snake bean. She likes to eat runner beans. But between the two of them, I like snake bean because, like I said, you can see it, very easy to pick and less itchy. Now I'm going to go across to the other side. Let me go down here. As you can see here, this is the straw bean side. No, straw bean. Why do I always say straw bean? This is runner beans. And the leaves, they're a bit like rough. And when you do get in here and pick it, I mean, it's no big deal, but you start to get really itchy arms. So put on something a bit like long sleeve, put on gloves. I know it's a bit overkill, but the itchiness is really uncomfortable after a while. So this is straw beans. And you can see you actually need to go in and look at them. They're hidden. You need to do a bit of detective work, right? Whereas the snake bean, they're just like sticking out. Look at on the other side. I don't know if you can see there. They're sticking out. Pick me. Choose me. I'm thinking of The Simpsons. Ralph and Lisa episode. God, my childhood cartoons. Look at that there. So the benefits are, I mean, it's good to grow diversity, right? Variety, diversity. You can't have too much of one thing. So grow both. But if I have to choose one, I would definitely just choose the snake bean because, you know, for various reasons, it's less itchy and also it's easy to pick. And they are high production, both of them. I mean, probably the other one more than this. Well, I mean, yesterday when I looked at this, of course there were a lot more beans because we picked it already. So generally it's not this bad, but I just want to emphasize between the two of them, you know, this one is probably, it's not as productive as the snake bean, nor is it easy to pick. Okay, I'll just go over here. So my dad has done a bit of, you can see here, these are liquid seaweed fertilizers. I mean, if you're growing custard apple, this is like the best, one of the good time to fertilize it because the fruit is already out. As you can see, the pollination process has taken place and you got like big fruits like this. So you just give it a bit of a feed. My dad did say, like, don't do it when it's in that pollination stage because a lot of flowers will fall off and you won't have much fruit. Whether that's true or not, or scientifically proven, I don't know. But that's what he's been doing for many years now. Okay. They all have their use. So plants wise, there we go. Down this direction. It's a very sunny day. Just standing down here in the shade. It's in the 30s, like 30 to 35. They did forecast like about 38 to 40 degree up here by Saturday, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm gonna finish the video here under the custard apple tree where it smells lovely, and the foliage and the canopy covering me from the sun. I've been very tan because I'm walking out in the sun and I'm checking the water, the irrigation. So that's the other big task that I have to do. So these water irrigation that I have, if you can see at the back of me, it's been here for maybe 5 to 6 years, somewhere around there. And these things, they need to be replaced over time because it's bore water, and also with the bore water, it's not treated water. There's a lot of calcium, and the calcium and maybe iron, I don't know. Don't quote me on this. I'm not scientific. But a lot of the sediment and the debris that's from whatever collected through the irrigation over time, it stick into the tubing, and then the water heads, it's you need to replace them. And sometimes it's more efficient if you just replace the whole tubing, because if you just replace the actual head itself, you still face the same problem. So I mean, it has done its job, like in the last several years. They are not cheap. You know, each of these heads, I think yesterday or the day before, I bought them, and it's like a packet of 50 for maybe 50 something dollars. So replacing this whole area is a lot of money. So I've done this like many years ago when I was planning to do like backpacking around Australia and doing a lot of travel. So I remember back then it was like thousands of dollars to set up the irrigation system where everything is automatic. So now we're at the point where we have to replace most of these things. So these are the costs that you need to, you know, have at the back of your mind when you have a property, because they do come up every now and then. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's no big deal. For the convenience, you don't have to come here and manually water it. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you all have a wonderful day. You take care, stay cool if it's summer, stay warm if it's winter, and enjoy if it's spring or autumn. Bye everyone.